and Shin versus an opponent. We'll find out which one. As for now, we're settling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our red Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, the ex-military Protoss. He's back. He is Zoun. And I'll be honest, I'm very curious how this plays out. I'm very curious how Zoun will approach this PvZ. I feel like mirror matchups have changed the least over time. There are exceptions, of course, especially, you know, like the Cyclone meta, for example, in TBT, but that era has come and gone. So I don't know if there was like too much to really get out of the PvP that we saw earlier, outside of course, Zoun still looking quite strong in that matchup, but we'll see how he compares to a Zerg player. We'll see what kind of style he enjoys in this matchup as well. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener here out of YoungYakov, forsake the unnatural natural. Oh, also my apologies, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Get your gamba going, papi. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat with those predictions. As for now, we're settling in. Down, going for the gate expand to Cybercore. We go. And again, my eyes are going to be on Zoun when it comes to his tech of choice. I mean, I imagine we should be seeing a Stargate opener into triple Oracle, into a third base. I imagine that Zoun should be headed in that direction, but we'll see. YoungYakov, also not the most standard of players, can be very aggressive at a moment's notice. YoungYakov can definitely hold his own. As for now, Probe is going to be zoned away. YoungYakov can soon take his own third base. Back at home, we have our tech of choice, going to be a Stargate opener here for Zoun. Again, so far everything as it should be. Going for the Stargate. Likewise, YoungYakov will be taking his third, droning up. And I imagine Zoun should be working towards that Oracle. I mean, technically, there could be a Phoenix or a Void Ray opener. That is true. That is true. Can be that. Oh, speaking of. Okay. you have my attention. It is going to be the Void Ray first here for Zoun. His goal here is to hunt down the Overlord. And that does mean that Zoun's follow-up can be a little bit cheekier. He can go for, say, a Fleet Beacon into like a Tempest Rush, second Stargate, can go into a faster Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts. Or this could just lead into a third, a standard opener into Blink and +1 into a standard game. Zoun has options. Meanwhile, YoungYakov is making more links. He's flooding links across the map. Queens are walking as well. Okay, they're coming back. Queens are walking back. The purpose of these links, of course, are to deny the expansion and delay the third. But there is no third. And that was a lot of lings. Again, these lings, they could have been drones. YoungYakov is looking for some kind of value. We'll find the third base. Void Ray out of position. Yeah, we get this around. Adept goes down. Probe as well. A nice catch here for YoungYakov. And it looks like he will force a cancel. The Oracle pops out, but it should be too late. I say that. It's going to be close. No shot. YoungYakov pulling away for that 1 second. With that, the third base gets up. That was a big investment. That was a big investment for YoungYakov. Doesn't get what he wanted. More lings are on the way. YoungYakov now droning up, and Zoun saves the third. Again, quite impressive. Did feel like maybe YoungYakov didn't quite have too much confidence in going for the base. Did cost him all the lings. But now he's coming in for the second wave. Another round of lings are on the way. Oracle towards the right, Void Ray towards the left. This time, though, there are two Adepts. There's a Shield Battery behind this. This time, Zoun should be able to defend, even without the Skytoss units. I say that, the Adepts are getting low, but Zealots warp in. At the same time, Roach Warren is spotted. Zoun, he does defend, and we do get 2 drone kills on the right hand side. Not bad. Zoun catching a couple of workers. Deflects the Lings, and that was how many Lings? 19 Lings going down. Ay. And again, that wasn't quite worth it for YoungYakov. Now he's redroning, resaturating, and Zoun's follow-up is going to be +1 and not Blink. +1 and charge. It's going to be charge.archon this time from Zoun. Not Blink Stalker. Now, thankfully, YoungYakov does have a safety Roach Warren, so Roach Ravager can do quite nicely against this kind of army composition, can hold its own. A Hydra-based composition can be vulnerable to this. As YoungYakov is expanding, taking a 4th base, droning up, taking gases, and is settling in towards that mid-game. Making a safety round of Roaches, I'm assuming just for safety. We'll keep an eye on the drone count as the Roaches are revealed, and you can see on the production tab, YoungYakov is droning. He did have the opportunity to maybe go for a 3-base all-in, but YoungYakov making even more workers tells us that most likely he's building up towards a longer game state. If he keeps making drones. For now, he's up to 65 workers. More Overlords. Overlord speed on the way. YoungYakov, he might just go for a bit of a German taxi. I say German taxi, could just be a Roach Queen walk across the map. Yeah, more Roaches are building up as well. YoungYakov is getting ready. Is getting ready for a massive push. And back at home, Zoun, he's not quite ready for this. He has 1 shield battery, 1 cannon. And there it is. They're the Dropper Lords. They're on the way. So it's going to be a 3-base all-in for YoungYakov. This 4th hatchery is just for larva. Just for larva. It is not being saturated. YoungYakov cutting workers at 65. And here comes the all-in. Here it comes the move out. Roach Ravager through the center. Queen's reinforcing with the Dropper Lords. Is going to be that German taxi. And Zoun is now aware, but Zoun, he was expanding. Oh, he was taking a 4th. Now is not the time. Again, shield batteries just now being thrown down. These are late. Late shield batteries, late response. Zoun, he was in the dark. His pants, they're looking down, papi. He's not ready. Needs more time. Queens are coming in. The Ravager takes down the Stasis Trap. Void Ray taking a lot of damage. Shield batteries are about to finish up. But the 4th base is going to be denied. And Yakov poking and still taking his time. The Disruptor Cannon is building up. Cannons are finishing. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Zoun. And Yakov is on a bit of a timer. We'll take down the cannons. Overcharge gets popped. First Disruptor gets targeted. Nice pick up on the Disruptor. The piles, they won't quite connect. Nice dodges here from Zoun. Pulls back. Overcharge still coming into play. Ooh. Nova was less than ideal. No big connections yet. The 4th base was denied. That was a cancel, not a kill. Nexus was cancelled. More Roach Ravager amassing. I feel like all of this is going to come down to the Disruptors. And how good the Novas are going to be. There is a lot of potential. Up! First Nova goes up. The splits, though. The splits, papi. Splits are a little bit too good. Cloud's going to be connecting. Ling's putting into the mineral line. Another Nova doesn't quite connect. And YoungYakov, he is gaining ground. Gets another, or tries to go for another Disruptor. The Miles, they don't connect. Not bad. Zoun, he's holding. Lost the gateway, but he is holding on. PvZ take down the Void Ray. Massive pickoff. YoungYakov still rallying across the map behind this, throwing down a Hydroden. And Infestation Pit. I mean, it looks like YoungYakov, he knows that he cannot quite break this position, but he's still trading. Still trading nicely. Now we began to drone. YoungYakov has begun droning. Getting to +2, going for the Disruptors. Up, gets 1. Oof, not quite worth it though. Takes a big Nova to the face. YoungYakov, he is running out of units. Zoun is broken out. As I say that though, Roach counterattack. Roach dropping the mineral line. 6 probe kills. So finally some economic damage. Zoun taking a 4th base. Does finish up. YoungYakov did miss it until now. And now he does rotate. Going for the mineral line. Probes are falling, forcing a recall. Ooh, so many workers going down. It's going to be another 5 probe kills. Now, back at home, YoungYakov, he isn't quite ready with Lurker tech. He's headed in that direction. He's working towards Hydras, working towards Lurkers, Hive tech as well. YoungYakov is not ready. Building up Roach Hydra. Working on those upgrades. That is enough to force Zoun back. Zoun has to retreat. Does at least get his 4th. Zoun is holding his own. Still in this. We spoke about the Lurkers. Lurker Den is now on the way. Hive as well. Oh, the flanking. Calm down, Zoun. The Disruptors is going to pull back. Does pull away. 3 workers do fall. And Yakov just trying to distract Zoun. Likewise, Nuttling run by being set up here towards the left-hand side. And that Lurker Den is almost done. Once Lurkers pop out, I'm not so sure Zoun can really break YoungYakov. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Poking in. Zelsa hit the left. They do distract YoungYakov for a moment. More Hydra's building up. Lurker Den is done. No Lurkers yet. And down he goes for the dive. Ooh, Disruptor is targeted down. There's 1 Disruptor left. Oh! It zones away. And that means the expansion, it should fall. Not a bad pickup. Zoun gets the base. Pulling back. Still no Lurkers. And the Roaches are crumbling. Not a bad trade here for Zoun. He maintains his Immortals, more Disruptors. Meanwhile, the Hive is done, and now Vipers are on the way. YoungYakov did lose his expansion, though. He's on a 3-base economy. YoungYakov's economy is in the gutter, but now has reached his final form. Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Kind of the ideal army composition you want against a ground toss army like this. And Lurker range is about to finish. Meanwhile, here comes Link Run By. Zoun will defend. Storm is done. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Zoun taking a 5th base. Oof. He's getting a 5th. That's a lot of Lunkers. How many? 14. Jesus. 14 Lurkers. They're in position. And pushing into 14 Lurkers is not going to be easy. Roach drop across the map. Gets into the natural. Big run by being set up as well. 6 probes go down. Zoun has to be careful. The High Templar! No! We do get a storm! Yeah, nice abductions. 2 Immortals and Archon as well. The High Templar gets surrounded! Massive pickoff. High Templar go down. No more storms. I feel like Zoun should not be here. Not anymore. Does have to back off. Again, losing all those storms means the Lings, they can have free reign. They dive in. And Zoun is going to get surrounded. Losing every single Archon. Just 1 survives. Zoun getting forced back. Trying to rebuild. Fleet Beacon did finish, but... yeah, YoungYakov, he's looking quite comfortable here. Shuts down the main army. Takes a 5th base. YoungYakov is recovering. And Zoun is still stuck on a ground toss army. He did finish up the Fleet Beacon, but there's no second Stargate. And starting up carriers, it's going to take a while for that to really kick in. Decent Novas. Good Storm as well. Takes out another Lurker. Zealot Runby hits the left-hand side. Gets 3 drones. Zealot Runby on the right as well. Just the 1 Lurker. Zealots, I mean, they're gaining value. Getting one queen, almost getting another. Buying time. Oh, that's just now the second robo on the way. Not like this. Nervous go off, getting one lurker. Decent zoning storm. Zealots hit the right hand side once again. This time there are reinforcements. And Yakov is holding his own. No, catching out the main army! Zoun! He gets caught out. Yeah, the Disruptors Immortals as well. Yeah, massive losses here for Zoun. Losing every single High Templar once again. And the Lurkers are coming in. At the same time, he does lose a mineral line though, YoungYakov. 14 drones go down. Oof. But Zoun having a very hard time pushing in. And the lurker count is just too high. The expansion does fall at the same time. Zealots bust into the natural as well. Oh my god. YoungYakov, he turns around. He has to come back home. Zealots are in almost every single mineral line. 26 drones fall and the 5th base as well. YoungYakov, he races back home. Zoun, he gets breathing room. His 5th base still untouched. Zoun, his economy is still looking good. Zoun needs time. He just needs more time. But can he get it? Contamination on the main. Let's go. Let's go. Main armies do miss each other. Mothership has arrived. Oof. So we get the yoink. Not that many Hydras, but there's a second abduction. And Zoun is going for the base trade. Yeah, he cannot engage. Not with this many lurkers. 3rd base goes down. And this base trade was a little bit late. YoungYakov racing back home once again. Mineral line is falling. There is an observer with the main army. This lurker should fall. And trading a base for a base. But you can see YoungYakov trying to catch out the main army with these lurkers. Up! Storm going up. Abduction goes off as well. Catching an immortal. Oh, but that's another mineral line. YoungYakov losing 17 drones! The Vipers! Vipers are exposed. Viper goes down. Mineral line as well. YoungYakov down to 30 workers. He barely has an economy. He's down to what, like half a base mining. Barely any economy left here for YoungYakov. Again, YoungYakov, he might have a better army, but without that economy, Zoun can rebuild. And again, Zoun, he still has the 5th base, still has the 4th base. May have lost the 3rd, but it doesn't matter. And now here you have Tempest. Tempest are on the way. 2nd Stargate. Zoun, he's done it. Look at the revelation of lurkers are going down. There's just not enough support. And finally, YoungYakov, he can take the fight. Zoun can take the fight. GG gets called and Zoun will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth between Zoun and YoungYakov. Again, YoungYakov, a lot of momentum was in his favor when he reached 14 lurkers. That was an insane lurker count. But Zoun was so persistent with the non-stop Zealot run-bys. The Zealots, they were the MVPs of this game. I mean, sure, we had some nice storms, we had some nice disruptor shots, true, but the Zealots, they killed mineral line after mineral line. They forced the army back multiple times as well, took down bases. Very impressive. Very impressive performance there by Zoun. And a very tenacious play as well. Just, again, just not really relenting when it came to those counterattacks, when it came to those run-bys. And eventually, they did just overwhelm YoungYakov. Last didn't quite have either the attention span or the speed even to keep up with those run-bys. As they got out of hand. GG. GG, well played. How long is Zoun back from the military? 10 days. Around 10 or so days. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion, and we have our red Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, recently back from the military. It is Zoun. Here we go. Again, Zoun has only been back from the military for the past 10 days, I believe. On top of that, I think this is the first tournament that Zoun is competing in since his return. I don't think he's played in any other Open Cup or any other show match, for example. It's his comeback battle. Let's go. And we're here for it. We are here for it. YoungYakov once again going hatch gas pull, forsake the unnatural natural. Meanwhile, Zoun back at home, going for a standard opener himself. Everything so far looking good. Zoun fan finally met Zoun. He did, man. He did. Let's go. Shout out to, I see Gemini in the chat as well. Oi, Gemini, where were you today? I did not see, I see Gemini in the chat. I didn't see Gemini in the brackets. Just saying, just saying. Where was GGE Mini? Where was Trap? I was looking forward to seeing Trap try and reprise his role here, as Trap is the reigning Sparkling Tuna Cup champion, but unfortunately, not here this week. Likewise, Ryung didn't check in either. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Something that I'm sure many people do not know, but this tournament was kind of named, I don't want to say it was named after Ryung, but it was a reference to Ryung. That's why it's a tuna. For the Dong one, Pappy, for the Dong one. Not just that, but a deeper reference. The reason why it's Sparkling Tuna Cup is because the initial spell STC, and that's also a reference to STC the player as well. So all the references to STC and to Ryung. Despite that, neither one ever played in our tournament. Ryung signed up and he did not check in. Did not check in. Feels bad. Yeah. Feels bad. As we're calming things down, it is going to be a Stargate opener here from Zoun. Stargate from our Protoss once again. Now, last game it was a Void Ray opener. We'll see if it's the case again. See if Zoun goes for the Void Ray or for the initial ore. Based on the rally, yep, it's going to be the Void Ray. Void Ray is on the way. Meanwhile, YoungYakov embracing some additional Lings. Now, we saw last game, YoungYakov did commit quite hard into a Ling Flood. The Ling Flood was unsuccessful and didn't get much damage done, did not force a cancellation on the third. It was 19 Lings for, I think, one Adept. One Adept and one Probe. Speaking of, Lings are moving out once again. See if YoungYakov can delay and even cancel. But now trying to hunt down the initial Adept. Oh! Does get this around. Adept does fall. Lings moving out. Void Ray has arrived. And again, the Lings are here just to pose a threat to the expansion. Void Ray does, or the Void Ray is distracted by the Overlord. Lings are in position. And Zoun is going to be contained for a little bit longer on two bases. At least for a little bit. Expansion is placed. That does trigger YoungYakov. Goes in for the dive, but the Oracle's ready for this. And YoungYakov is deflected. But at least this time he does preserve his Lings. Oh! Even cashing an Adept. Oh! At least trying to. Yeah, one more Adept goes down. Behind this, YoungYakov has been joining up, saturating his bases, and we can see once again a Forge and a Twilight counter from the side of from the side of Zoun. Last game it was +1 in charge into Archon production. We'll see if Zoun heads in a similar direction or if he goes into Blink instead. Oh! Oracle dips in, gets 2 drones, gets 2 workers but takes a lot of hull damage. Zoun backs off. Zoun does retreat, and we'll see if YoungYakov goes for a different approach this time. I was on top of a mountain looking at the sunset. Oh, were you with Trap? So romantic. Esther Gemini. So wholesome. Beautiful. Oracle gets deflected. Lings once again threatening the third base, but this time we have an army in position, we have a shield battery, we have an overcharge. Yeah, Ling's just scouting, getting read what's going on, and we have confirmation that this time Zoun will mix things up, and that is +1 and blink, not charge. Okay, let's go. Zoun just going for a different style. Likewise, YoungYakov rushing into a much faster Hydrogen. Last game we went for a 3-base all-in, if you recall, went up to 65 workers, and committed with Roach Ravager. This time did throw down a safety Roach Warren, but is taking up a lot quicker here into Hive, into Hydras, into Lurkers. Gonna make sense. Alkyone, I mean, it's known for its longer macro games. And we'll see if YoungYakov can tech up and get there unscathed. We'll see if Zoun can punish him. Zoun is being active with those Stalkers. Taking a 4th base behind this. Safe on the right-hand side. Again, YoungYakov can't really threaten that expansion unless he does rotate towards the right-hand side here, towards the south. Did open up those minerals. Zoun does move out. Blink is done. +1 finishing up as well. YoungYakov going for an Infestor. Okay. That's going to be a great way to lock down this army. We'll see if he can get there, though. So far, Lings, they come in for a surround. Stasis Trap goes off. Zoun can keep going. At the same time, Oracle hits up, Void Ray hits up 3rd base. Not getting much done. So far, YoungYakov is holding his own. Reinforcements have arrived. Void Ray going for the Gas Geyser. The Gas. Oh no! It survives! Gas Geyser does live. And Zoun is trading well, but here comes the Fungal. And the army gets locked down. Nice Fungal here from YoungYakov. Shuts down the Stalkers, forces Zoun back, and what this means is that YoungYakov has survived into Hive Tech and Lurker Tech. Lurker upgrades are on the way. Hive is done. Zoun unable to break the expansion. And YoungYakov is once again getting into that final form, getting into those Lurkers and eventually Vipers as well. He's getting there. Meanwhile, Zoun taking up into his splash damage of choice, going into Storm. No river production. Storm is being researched. First wave of Lurkers are on the way. It's going to be initially 5 Lurkers for YoungYakov, likewise running up to 80. And we'll see if Zoun, likewise, once he sees this, starts taking as well. We saw the beginning of Sky Toss in Game 1. We didn't quite get there. We didn't quite embrace it. Just the mothership. And I guess a Tempest at the end of the game. For now, YoungYakov knocking down these rocks. Building up more Lurkers. No Vipers yet. I mean, against this kind of army, we don't really need them so much. That's around too many high-tech units. Oof. Lurkers are revealed. That's a lot of damage dealt to the Stalkers. That's a pretty big volley. And YoungYakov does rotate. He's a little bit supply blocked. He's about to max out. Nice stasis, though. Stasis does catch a Lurker. Storm is done. Initial Storm is okay, but there are 3 high tempo or 3 storms remaining. Down to 2. And with the help of the Concave, with the shield battery overcharge as well. Oh, YoungYakov, it looks like he may have overextended. Where's the detection? Up the detection. Lurkers, 2 Lurkers, 3 Lurkers. I think they get so much damage done. Oh my god. Zoun's army does crumble. No detection. Feels bad, man. Revelation did miss the Lurkers. And these 2 Lurkers did so much damage. Ay, ay, ay. And it looks like Zoun has been broken. Observers now coming in. But it might just be too late. Oh. Oh, who is it? No. Is it me? No, Zoun. So it looks like we have some connectivity issues. Oof. But alas, that was a brutal fight. Again, the Revelation barely missed those 2 Lurkers. And with that, YoungYakov, he's breaking through the natural. Takes down the Robo, takes down the Cybercore. Reinforcements on the way. And Zoun just barely not enough. Barely not enough to hold on. Third base is being broken. And GG gets called. There's just too much to handle, and YoungYakov will tie the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, if there was just either the Observer or if the Relation had caught those two lurkers as well, it would have been a much cleaner fight for Zoun, and I could definitely see him holding there as well. Apparently he had not quite missed that. Regardless, GG, well played. It also looks like there were some connectivity issues as well, some latency issues, so hopefully everything is okay. We're more than happy to wait, like, just in case there's something going on. Hope everything's okay from the side of Zoun. Fingers crossed. So we are going to be settling in. And we're getting into the ace match. Ooh. And game 3 is going to be on post-youth. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of post-youth, we have the red Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes, tying up the series and forcing the ace match. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, but returning from the military, being forced into the ace match. It is Zoun. Let's see if he can bring it back. As we are loading into a very interesting map, I don't often see this map in this matchup. It is very often vetoed. So I'm curious what the plan is going to be here and how we approach post-youth of all maps. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen this map in this matchup, so I'm ready. I'm curious. Curious how Zoun will approach this. Again, one of the big features of this map is not just the in-base hybrid expansion that is available here to both players, but also the gold. There is a gold base as well in the center of the map. Not just that, but the center of the map is also very wide open as well, very prone to surrounds, very prone to being flanked. As a result, this map is often vetoed, but we'll see. As YoungYakov is going for a hatch gas pool, sorry, my apologies, is going for a very different opener here, 15-15. So with this YoungYakov, he is going to have a later gas, later link speed as well, as he went for essentially a faster hatchery and a faster spawning pool. A safer opener for YoungYakov. Also allows him to expand on location without being disturbed by the probe. And again, we'll see how Zoun does respond. Initially opening up gate expand into Cybercore. Getting into his own natural. Typically the hybrid goal base is also a little bit more effective for Zerg players just because, I mean, gas is more, I should say minerals are a little bit less impactful for Protoss early on. Minerals, I meant to say. I'm also curious to see if YoungYakov does try, yeah, I was going to say if he tries to take the gold, the drone is in position, and Zoun is here to deny. YoungYakov taking the standard third base instead, not rushing into the gold. Likewise, Zoun parking himself outside of the third, or in between the third and the main. And once again, third game in a row going for the Void Ray opener. Interesting. Zoun has gone for it all 3 games. With the initial Void Ray, Zoun can try to hide his follower. Game 1, we saw just a 3rd base into Charge Lot Archon. Game 2, we saw +1 Blink Stalkers instead. Into Blink Stalker Aggression. And we'll see what Zoun goes for in Game 3 in the Ace match. Technically, we could still see faster Twilight Council into Glaives. Or we could see a Fleet Beacon. Let's go! And the power of this build is the Void Ray. The fact that Zoun has gone for a Void Ray opener every single game makes it that much more difficult for YoungYakov to perceive whether it's going to be something different, something more aggressive, or something standard. So I do appreciate how Zoun is playing out this series. We can see YoungYakov going for a very early Roach Warren. That was a sub 4-minute Roach Warren. Now, this could be one of 2 things. Ooh, never mind. As the Overlord does confirm, does scout, and does see everything. Now, I was going to say this could just be a safety Roach Warren, or it could just, because it's so early, could just be a sign of aggression for an all-in. YoungYakov is aware of the Fleet Beacon. I'm curious if he plans to make use of this Roach Warren. Or if, again, it was more of a safety thing. More safety response. Lara's halfway done. YoungYakov joining up. It is going to be a Tempest Rush here from Zoun, getting to a 2nd Stargate. And YoungYakov is just droning. He's just droning up and making more queens. We should soon be seeing some spores for a bit of an anchor point for his army. And from here, YoungYakov, he has a couple of options. He could rush into Hydras, could throw down a Spire. There it is, Spire is on the way. Now, bearing in mind as well that this is initially Sky Toss, but very often this does transition to Ground Toss, and there it is. It is going to be the Forge and Twilight Council. It's a build that Classic popularized last year. Was it the year before that? Like, the years are blending together. But Tempest Rush into Ground Toss. The Tempest initially can pose a threat, but they're going to be more of a supportive unit for the main army. And ideally, the Protoss wants to force an overreaction from the Zerg. Ideally. Tempests have arrived. There's a spore in the main. Queens have time to respond. And we do have a transfuse. Oh! Keep the Queen alive. Set by YoungYakov, he holds his own. Tectonic Destabilizers on the way. Let's go. Get into that Tempest upgrade. And so far, so good. YoungYakov hasn't lost any queens yet. Void Ray hitting the gold. Likewise, because of the positioning, these Tempests are under no real threat either. They can just chip away at the mineral line. One drone goes down. Queens are going down. No transfuse! And not enough energy, not enough transfuse available. 2 queens go down, a drone, the spore, but Corruptors are on the way. Corruptors are in production, and Zoun is going to have to get the hell out of here. Gets 1 more queen. And another. And that's 9 Corruptors on the way. They have arrived. And Zoun will have to back off. Forced to recall. He leaves one behind. No. One of the Tempests is left behind and will fall. And with that, YoungYakov, he defends. He's moving out. And he's backing this up with an all-in. Roaches, Lings as well, Dropper Lords. YoungYakov rallying everything across the map. And Zoun is vulnerable. Does have 1 shield battery at the 3rd. Now, YoungYakov ideally wanted to counterattack with more queens. Void Ray falls. Forces the queens to the Stalkers to respond. On the surround! Depths are getting caught out. Yeah, Zoun not quite expecting this. 3rd base is exposed. Tempest have to respond. Corruptors coming in from behind. And they're going for the Tempest. They got 1. There's 3 left. And 3 Tempests remaining. No shield battery set up. Zoun was not ready for the all-in. And YoungYakov, he's snowballing out of control. He's denied entry into the main, but he's going for the 3rd. He's going for the 3rd base instead. Again, just 2 cannons. No shield battery, no overcharge. It was initially not a bad start for Zoun, but again, he just wasn't expecting this response. Queens are getting cleaned up. That's going to be the third base falling. Heavy worker as well. More roaches have arrived, and there's just no saving this expansion. Likewise, Corruptors are going for the Templar Archives. They're denying the Archons. And GG gets called as just too much, and YoungYakov will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. Again, a very decisive response here by YoungYakov. Initially, he was taking a lot of damage, was losing a lot of queens and even drones to the Tempest, but again, he was very decisive, just going into his initial roach speed, into his roach buildup and aggression, and all in. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, Zoun didn't spot it. Zoun wasn't aware. He was aware of the Corruptors, that is true, but he wasn't aware of the ground army that was coming his way. That's why Zoun was so unprepared at the third, and he was caught with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to YoungYakov, as he will claim the series, will advance on into the next round. And he is currently waiting for his next opponent. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. We have a lot to go over.